Hello everyone, I am Himadri Behera from E&TC and I am here to present my practical submission on data analytics. So, I have been given with four questions. My first one is the core education. Second question based on responsibilities of data analytics. The third question is both concept and education upon the Lassonic regression and the auto analysis. And my fourth question is accessing databases with Python. So, here is my first question. This is the question I got, and this is my data frame. So my first question is to replace NaN values, this NaN values, by replacing, and then drop the age column, then filter the top scoring students above or equal to 85, and then display the data. So here I am. This is my code part, and I have imported pandas SPD. So this is the data, and these are the NaN ones. So I have given it the none value. So exactly it is showing 0. Okay. So in the data frame, I have used the data frame as to store the data and columns. So as the name, age, gender, and marks. Okay. So when I call it, it is showing me this gender, name, marks, and age. Okay. And these are the serial numbers. So first I have to calculate the mean of them. Then I have called the mean method, and I have got the mean of the marks, age, and data type. Both of them, the three of them. So my marks is here, and but what did I need? I need the yes. I only need to replace the NaN value, and the NaN is present in marks. So I have declared a data frame that marks and fill NA participant force. So this is my method fill NA so that the average value of the marks will be filled in the data frame. So you can see here when I call it, I have participant 4 here in the NaN and second one is here. So I got the first question, then I have to drop the axis, means I have to drop the age one. So here is my age column and I have to drop it. So this is my function drop, and this is the syntax of label, axis, index, columns, etc. So it is the data frame dot drop. So labels is equal to age means what you have to drop, that is age, and axis is 0 and 1. So if I call 0, then it will get the row part of it, and if I call 1, so it will go got the column 1. So I have to call the column 1 because I have to replace means drop out the age one. So I call out 1, and when I call it, see, there is no age here. Okay, sorry. And here my third question, that is data frame equal or greater than 85. Okay, it is a data frame of marks. So I will here do the if else statement. If my data is more than 85, then it will show true, else it will show false. So that is my code, and when I execute it, you can see that it is 100, so it is true. 96 is true. More than 85, more than 85, less than 85, so it is false. And it is equal. So you can see it is equal. It is equal and greater than 85. So it is true, and the rest three are less than, so it is false. And here is my first question. So my second question is responsibilities of a data analytics. My first one is to design and maintaining the data systems and databases. So what does it mean? This means that this includes the fixing coding errors and other data related problems. So the data analytics help us to fix the coding errors and the related problems according to it. So the second one is mining data. What does it mean? The mining data from primary and secondary sources, then recognizing data in a format that can be easily read either by human or by the computers. Okay. The third one is using statistical tools. So using statistical tools to interrupt data sets, paying particular attention to trends and patterns that could be valuable for diagnostic and predictive analytics efforts. So fourth question is to prepare preparing report for executive leadership. Okay, so preparing reports for executive leadership means that effectively communications and trends, patterns, and prediction using the relevant data. So I I leave this point of demonstrating the significance of the work. So what does this mean? Demonstrating the significance of these works means that the context of local, national, and global trends that impact both the organization and the industry. Okay, so my fifth point is identifying opportunities and improvising them. So the data analytics is collaborating with many programmers, engineers, and organizational leaders to identify the opportunities and processes like improvements, modification, and develop policies for the data governance. Okay. The last one is creating appropriate documentation. So what does this mean? This means this allows the stakeholders to understand the steps of the data analysis processes and duplicate the analysis if necessary. Okay. So this was third question. Explain and perform lasso regression auto-analysis. So what is lasso regression? And the lasso stands for the least absolute shrinkage and selection operator. Okay. And what does it mean? The lasso regression is a type of linear regression that uses to shrinkage. And shrinkage is where the data values are sunk towards a central point like data mean. So, how you're using mean? The mean is that by adding all the numbers means we have to get the center of that array of or the data frame. So the shrinkage is all the same, and the lasso procedure encourages the simple space models, that is the models with fewer parameters. Okay, and then it is the L1 regulation. What does that mean? So lasso regression performs annual regulation, which adds a penalty equal to the absolute value of that magnitude of coefficients. This type of regulation can result in sparse models with few coefficients. Some coefficients can become zero and eliminated from the model. And so the large penalties result in coefficient values closer to the zeros, which is the ideal for producing simpler models. Okay. So my math, excuse me, my mathematical equation of lasso regression. So it is the residual sum of square plus lambda asterisk sum of the absolute value of the magnitude of coefficients. Sorry. So it is summation of yi minus summation of xi upon and bj square plus lambda summation of j1 to p bj. So the lambda denotes the amount of shrinkage. Okay, the lambda here it denotes the amount of shrinkage, and lambda is equal to zero means the sum of the squares is considered to build a predictive model, and lambda is equal to infinite. This means that that the lambda closest to infinity is it eliminates more and more features. So we have got two statements here. That as the lambda increases, the bias increases. So the lambda is directly proportional to the bias one. And if the lambda decreases, the variance increases. So the lambda is inversely proportional to variance. And here is the execution part of this question. And it is the execution of lasso regression. And I have imported numpy as np, cbon as sns, pandas as pd, and alrib just request as alrib b2. Okay, the cbon is used to it is a tool for nice looking plots. Okay, so these are url a b and c. This is I've imported for csv, and it is from url. Then I have got my abc here with the decode value of utf8, all of 3. I have used here rand module. So when I run this, I have to means I have got ABC value here, okay, which is actually a float. So this is the split that the new data new line converts list into an area float. Means this all is the means the module split which actually convert the list into the array of a float. Okay, so it is that the so I've got the data frame because I've got the values in the float. So I've created my data frame here as store A, store B, and store C. Okay. So I have used SNS. And what is the use of SNS? You have seen here Cbon It is a nice looking plot. So I've used the SNS plot box x variable and y value, and I have got the graph here. So you can see that in the x I have got variable and the y axis I have got the value. So these are the graphs of store A, store B, and store C. I've got by C1. Okay. So when I print the mean, I have called the mean function. It is mean with the columns, and I have got mean A, mean B, and mean C separately. So this is the final answer. This one. And from the spicy stats, I have imported test IND and F one way. So I have got for 5 rounds, and it is the value of 0.3212. So I've used the same formula as above. So I have plotted the same store B, store C, and with the plot of that SNS with the help of C1, I have plotted this graph, and I have got the result of 0.1859. So this is my final answer. Then a fourth question, it is accessing databases with Python. Then what is database? Database is an organized collection of data so that it can be easily accessed and managed. Okay, so there are many type of databases available like MySQL, Skybase, Oracle, MongoDB, Informax, etc. So MySQL databases is basically used in Python, and MongoDB used in web development. So these are the various type of databases here. The first one is MySQL. Okay, it is the most popular databases. You have all heard about it. So it is in the market today. It is the latest one, you can say. So it is having four steps actually of MySQL. We have to see that. First, we have to install the MySQL driver. The step is to, step one, install the MySQL driver. So you should have got a Windows or Mac. So you can directly search on the Chrome to install MySQL driver. You will got the link there, and you will download it. So after that, I've got the syntax here. Then to create a connection object. Okay. Then to create a connection between MySQL database and the Python application, the the connect module is used. So I have got a connect module to connect from database to Python. Okay. So this is the module of dot connect. Okay. So this is a syntax I've used. So connection object is equal to MySQL connected the connect, and I've used the module with host name, username, password. Okay. So the third one is create a cursor object. This is the third step, and what does it mean? It means that sorry, it facilitates to have multiple separate working environment through the same connection object. So this is the use of cursor object. Okay, and it is an important aspect to execute the query in database. So by the help of the cursor object, I can call out this last one, this execute a query. So by the help of cursor object, we can execute the query, and this is the syntax of dot cursor and colon. So here are my references that uh, I have used in my following questions. And so first one, second one, third one, and fourth one. Okay. Thank you.